Welcome to the Sports Watchdog radio show, hosted by Mason Kern. He keeps his nose to the ground to report on what's trending in professional and college sports, to inform, enlighten, and entertain. And now it's...
The Sports Watchdog!
The Sports Watchdog, Mason Kern.
Hey everyone, you're tuned in to the Sports Watchdog radio show on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. I'm your host Mason Kern, here with you every Sunday from 12:30 to 1 p.m. And I'm certainly glad you've joined me on this Sunday afternoon. As always, I have some great stuff in my kennel. Today we'll be talking to former NFL fullback Chris Gronkowski and also former Washington Wizard of the NBA Carrick Felix, who now plays for Melbourne United in the National Basketball League. We'll also covering some sports hot topics, and for you basketball-specific fans, happenings on the hardwood.
Swinging it on over to Major League Baseball on our first stop. Since the major news of Giancarlo Stanton's departure from the Marlins to the Yankees, the MLB offseason hasn't produced nearly the same level of excitement thus far. However, with that being said, after a breakout 2017 campaign in which he had a .254 batting average and a .508 slugging percentage, outfielder Jay Bruce has re-upped recently on a 3-year, $39 million contract with the New York Mets. Although his primary position is outfielder, the Mets have informed Bruce that he may see time at first base, mainly to relieve highly touted prospect Dominic Smith, who struggled early on transitioning to the big leagues. Right-handed pitcher Cody Allen inked a 1-year, $10.57 million deal with the Cleveland Indians, avoiding arbitration for the third straight season, and should have a firm grip on the closer position in the ninth inning for the team this year. Outfielder Chris Davis and the Oakland Athletics agreed upon a 1-year, $10.5 million contract, getting a guaranteed raise of $5.5 million from last season, thanks in no small part to his 43 home run season. Tune in each week for further updates on the 2018 MLB offseason, as there are still big-name free agents such as Yu Darvish who haven't decided on a home for the upcoming year. Passing it over to hoops now, it was a wild week in NCAA Division I men's basketball, as 4 out of the previous top 5 teams found themselves bound from their position because of losses. Villanova finds themselves number 1 in the updated poll, jumping up from number 3 last week, while previous number 1 Michigan State fell to number 4, and number 2 Duke fell to number 7. After an abysmal start to the Pac-12 play, the former number 4 ranked Arizona State Sun Devils fell just out of the top 10, sitting at number 11. While previous number 5 Xavier, whom the Sun Devils beat in non-conference play, finds themselves a spot ahead at number 10. The top 25 will be shaken up even more come Monday, as current number 16 TCU fell in double overtime 99-98 to the Texas Longhorns, while Louisville defeated number 23 Florida State University, and Marquette blew out number 13 Seton Hall 84-64. Earlier in the week, number 1 Villanova took on number 10 Xavier and proved yet again why they are the best team in college basketball, gliding to an 84-65 victory. As it sits today, the top 5 in order goes Villanova, West Virginia, who now have their highest ranking in program history since Jerry West's senior season in 1959 at number 2, Virginia, Michigan State, and Purdue. But those are likely to change come tomorrow. I'm going to make an audible and switch over to the NFL now. Considering the main story this week was the Oakland Raiders' surprise plucking of John Gruden from the broadcast booth to take over head coaching duties, I figure I'll give my take on the whole situation. Money talks. Everybody knows this. And a 10-year, $100 million offer is enticing to anybody. I don't care who you are. I think the Raiders probably overpaid for his services and will now command the most expensive coaching staff in the league. However, with that being said, because the Raiders are very likely moving to Las Vegas in the next few years, I think the gamble on Gruden may very well pay off, both on and off the field. Vegas loves big money and high stakes. Gruden brings both, and had a lot of success 9 years ago as the Raiders head coach. As offensive-minded as he is, the development of quarterback Derek Carr will definitely be expedited, and the Raiders' offense will be a menace for years to come. Now, what they lack in defense, they'll make up in offense. However, they'll have to overcome their defensive inefficiencies if they ever want to win a Super Bowl. Because as they say, defense wins championships. Join the conversation to let me know what you think about these and other sports topics on social media at @SportsWatchdog, on Twitter at @TheSportsWatchdog, on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well. Speaking of social media now, a lot happened in sports this week, and that means a lot went down in the social media spectrum. So we slide into Major League Soccer social media now, as it was recently announced that the LA Galaxy would have a new rival team in town, with the Los Angeles Football Club kicking off its debut MLS game on March 4th, 2018. Now, in a tweet utilizing the animated comedy show Family Guy, a video clip from the show depicts 4 characters walking on train tracks with LA Galaxy shirts photoshopped on, and they hear a train coming and have to try and sprint away or face the consequences, and the approaching train features the new LAFC logo photoshopped on the front. Now, instead of all 4 characters making it off the tracks, one of the members is stuck as the train passes through, and that's maybe some comedic relief, but possibly a foreshadowing into the budding rivalry between the 2 LA-based soccer clubs in the near future. The tweet's caption reads, "The LAFC train is rolling through," and LAFC plays its first home game ever at the Bank of California Stadium on April 29, 2018 versus the Seattle Sounders, and the team is actively participating in the MLS expansion draft, selecting from over 300 unprotected players, and is currently in negotiations with clubs from around the league as they look to fill out their roster for the upcoming season.
All right, gang, the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX will come right back at you after this quick word.
Hey gadget lovers, the DRL Nico Air Force Vision 220 drone is the ultimate toy quadcopter. Its 5.8 GHz analog frequency gives pilots real-time video transmission without delay or interruptions. A full-color LCD screen and first-person view goggles provides an immersive flight experience from the cockpit of the drone. It's designed for all skill levels with 3 variable flight models, multiple speed settings, and 16 one-touch stunts. Find it at Target.com.
Hey there, and welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX, and I'm your host, Mason Kern. Right now, I'd like to introduce an exciting guest, retired NFL fullback turned entrepreneur Chris Gronkowski. After playing football at the University of Arizona through 2010, Chris went on to play 4 years in the NFL, having started out as a free agent signing with the Dallas Cowboys. He made his first career start in the league against the Chicago Bears, landing his first touchdown catch in the same game on a 1-yard pass from then quarterback Tony Romo. Before retiring in 2013, Chris spent time in the league playing for the Indianapolis Colts, the Denver Broncos, and the former San Diego Chargers before their move to Los Angeles. Now having embraced the business world, Chris has since opened 2 successful businesses. He recently landed investments from not just 1, but 2 sharks on ABC TV show Shark Tank. Both Mark Cuban and Alex Rodriguez invested in Chris's newest company and product called Ice Shaker. So Chris is here to tell us more about his exciting business venture, share some post-NFL insights, and even give us some success tips for how to win no matter what endeavor we're looking to tackle. Hey there, Chris. Welcome to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show. Great to have you with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, thanks so much again for joining me on the Sports Watchdog Radio Show today. And obviously, I want to talk a bit of NFL with you. But before that, tell me about your current business, Ice Shaker. What's the product and company all about, and how did it really come about?
So it came about last summer, actually. I was in the gym. I continued to stay active after my NFL career. I was going to the gym every day, and it's 100 degrees out in Texas. And by the time I got to the gym, my water bottle, there's sweat all over my car, my cup holders all over my shirt. I was leaving little sweat rings on the floor, and I took a sip of it, and it was warm, and it still had the lingering taste from the day before with my protein shake. And I went home that day, and I said, hey, there has to be some kind of insulated bottle that I can use. Put my protein in it, shake it up, easy to clean, and bring it to the gym and actually keep my drink cold. And I looked everywhere and couldn't find it. So that's when I came up with the idea for Ice Shaker.
Well, you're clearly onto something pretty big. So let's talk about the product itself, which looks really cool, I might add. What makes this invention so unique, as I know there's so much competition in this space?
So it's a kitchen-grade stainless steel. It's ideal for a protein shake because it doesn't absorb odor like the plastic bottle does. We also vacuum insulated it, so it will hold ice for over 30 hours. But what makes it unique from the other bottles is that it's easy to clean and it's easy to fill. So it's designed to fill with powders, designed to shake. Whereas other bottles, they have these little tiny spouts. You got to use a specialty brush. You're really not supposed to put anything in it besides water. So ours is designed in mind to put stuff into it and mix with it. And we have a cool removable agitator that helps blend protein. It also is great to use as a fruit infuser. It also works as a strainer as well. So it stops big chunks of ice from getting stuck up in the spout that a lot of people hate.
Yeah, now, like I said before, you made an appearance with your brothers on ABC TV show Shark Tank, and having recently landed funding for your business through that show, which I know is pretty difficult because I watched the show myself, how has that experience impacted the company as a whole?
Oh, it's been amazing. It's everything they say it is. The exposure, getting 2 sharks on my side has been huge for me, but it's been nonstop. It's been incredible, really, and it's taken us to a level that you don't think is possible when you first start, but it is, and it's really just it's shot straight up. So we just introduced new colors actually 2 days ago, and those have just been just taking it to the next level as well. So new products are coming out as well as we speak. Should have a smaller size bottle as well, and a couple other bottle designs in the future.
Well, yeah, that's really exciting, and that was actually my next question. What's next for you guys as a company? You have that exposure now, like you said, from Shark Tank. Do you have any future plans you can share with us outside of just the colors?
Yeah, I mean, we just launched the colors that a lot of people have been asking for. We have a Gronk shaker actually coming out because I was just getting nonstop requests for it after the show, after they asked me to change the name on the show. So
I'm sure.
We do have a limited edition. I mean, it's a great idea. A lot of people like putting the name on it, but it really limits your market, and people don't think about that. Is that a big Bills fan or Miami fan or Jets fan, or even Cowboys fan, whoever it is, isn't necessarily going to buy the product now because his name is on it. So that's why we stayed away from it, but we're going to come back and make a limited edition that should be out in January.
Well, that all sounds really exciting, and I want to shift over to your NFL career now. Has your background in professional football helped in any way in your business life with Ice Shaker and your other ventures?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, growing up, just playing football, playing sports, especially once you get to the professional level, you learn a lot. You learn how to multitask. You learn how to put in the work, the long hours, and it's a grind. Playing in the NFL, you're there from 6 a.m., 6 p.m., even longer. So you're used to those long hours, used to the hard work, you're used to studying, used to all that. So definitely translates over to owning your own business because it really is a nonstop grind, especially when you're starting something up from nothing. You're working all day, you're trying to figure out new things, you're putting in a ton of hours. So definitely the hard work aspect of it definitely transfers over.
So, Chris, I have to ask, having spent the latter half of your career with the San Diego Chargers, what was your opinion on their move to Los Angeles?
I think it was a great move. It really, we'd have big games against rivals like the Broncos coming in, and the stadium wouldn't be filled out. So, something had to be done. Some kind of move had to be made, in my opinion. And the stadium was also, older stadium, and something either had to be done there or they had to move. So I think it was a great play, and overall it will benefit them in the long run.
Now, Chris, that wasn't the only piece of controversy this NFL season, though. What did you think of all the controversy surrounding the national anthem, the president's comments, the protests, and all of these other events making headlines this season?
I mean, I really think it's just taken away from the game, and it really hurt the NFL, I think, in my opinion. The media, everyone was so focused on that people weren't even really focusing on the game, and it lost a lot of viewership, and I think it really hurt them.
Now, on a lighter note, obviously you may be slightly biased because your brother Rob Gronkowski plays tight end for the New England Patriots, and your other brothers Dan and Glenn have also been a part of the NFL as well. But do you personally have any Super Bowl predictions this season?
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping the Patriots go all the way again. They always turn it on right at the end, and they kind of just figure it out. Sometimes they stumble early on, and sometimes a loss helps them out and actually benefits them. So, I'm excited, and I think they'll make a good run at it for sure.
Now, Chris, I heard you mention the Patriots stumbling and losing unimportant games, possibly benefiting them in the long run. And I think you're referring to the Patriots' loss to the Miami Dolphins back on December 11th. They only lost 27-20, but it was a pretty ugly game for them. So what did you see in that game, and what went wrong for them in your opinion?
Oh man, that was a rough game. My brother wasn't playing, so I didn't keep extra close attention to it, but watched a couple plays and here and there, and they were struggling. But it's just something that happens, and sometimes you're just not 100% focused on that game, and you go into an atmosphere against a rival team in Miami, and you're just not ready for it. So it definitely happens. Everyone says, how can you lose to a bad team? There really is no bad teams in the NFL. Every player that's on a team is the best player that was in high school, the best player that was in college, the best player pretty much in the world. So I think it's funny when people say, that team is terrible, because really, it's full of amazing players.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Every player deserves to be on the field who makes it to the NFL level each and every night, even if they don't really get as much playing time as some of the other players. But now back on the business front, for others out there who may be struggling with a career change, or those who just want to embark on a new venture in their life, do you have any particular success tips or insights that you can share with them?
For me, it was always, I always started as kind of like a side job and see if it works before you really dive all in. So for me, I would find something that I liked or something that was working. I put time in it when I was done. A lot of my friends would just go right to the bar and party on a Friday. I would go and I put time in on the weekends and stuff like that, and see if it works. And if it does, and you have something there, then jump all in and really grind and get it to where you think you can go. So that was, I always started everything slow and put very little investment into it at first, and once I saw the success and once it was proven, then I really went all in on it.
Well, Chris, thank you for giving the Sports Watchdog listeners some great advice and also for telling us about your business that's clearly a winner. Where can listeners go to learn more about Ice Shaker?
So check us out, www.iceshaker.com.
And with that, we'll take a short break for this quick word. You're tuned in to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX.
Need a gift idea? Zoomer Sports creates hundreds of products out of actual sport ball material. Items like backpacks, wallets, pillows, bottle openers, and more. Made from actual baseball, basketball, football, softball, tennis, and soccer ball materials. Only Zoomer makes products with authentic sport ball materials that are the real deal, not a look-alike. Zoomer makes over 200 products with unmatched quality, style, and originality. Get on the ball at zoomersport.com. ZUMER sport.com.
Hey there, welcome back to the Sports Watchdog Radio Show on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. I'm your host, Mason Kern. And joining me now on the line is Carrick Felix, a professional basketball player and founder of a new app called Zingit. After graduating from Arizona State University in 2013, where he received multiple honors like Scholar Athlete of the Year in the Pac-12, Pac-12 Player of the Week 4 different times no less, and ESPN Player of the Month, Carrick was drafted 33rd overall in the second round of the 2013 NBA draft by the Cleveland Cavaliers. During his stretch in the NBA, Carrick spent a lot of his off time participating in community service, motivational speaking, as well as spending some of his time shadowing business professionals. During his time on injury reserve, Carrick used that period to reinvent himself as an app developer in Silicon Valley. Today, he's ready to light the business world on fire with his new app, Zingit. So, Carrick is here to tell us more about his experiences in the NBA and transitioning to the business and tech sector as an app developer. Hey there, Carrick. Thanks for joining me on the Sports Watchdog Radio Show. Glad you could be here.
Hey, man. Glad to have me, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Of course, yeah. Thank you so much again for joining me. But first off, I'm really anxious to hear about your app, Zingit. What exactly is it, and how did it come about?
Well, what it is, basically what it is, it's an app that provides people with a concierge service on the go. What I decided to do was make a platform that centralizes all outdoor recreational rental shops and puts them on one platform, just so it's simple, easy, and you can kind of go in there and pre-book your activities as you feel like it, whether you want to jet ski, boat, bike, whether you want to book it the same day, whether you want to book it a month in advance. You're able to do that. So we just wanted to make a fun, new and different environment, just so people can, have less time searching and more time just building memories and spending time together. So
I want to back up a bit now, Carrick. What motivated you to pursue a venture in technology? I mean, you're on injury reserve, so you go to Silicon Valley. And what made you pursue app development as that transition from professional basketball?
I've always been interested in tech. Ever since I can remember. I mean, if it wasn't taking things apart, trying to put things together, trying to build websites when I was little. It's all kind of ties in together. And when I was hurt, I experienced a downtime when I kind of didn't know what I wanted to do, and then, and kind of felt like basketball was the only thing I knew at the time. And I had to get down and do a lot of thinking. And one day, I just kind of had this idea just pop in my head just based off of my experiences throughout college and laying in bed for 6 months not having anything to do. So I was just kind of like, you know what, like, I'm here. I need to take advantage. And, I've always wanted to be a CEO and not even that, just being able to create and be a part of the change in this world with millennials. And so it was a no-brainer to me, just pushing forward and being able to do that. And being out in Silicon Valley and being able to meet some of the guys I've met and just be around innovators, guys who are changing the world today. So it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing, man. Can't complain, and there's more to come, and I'm excited for what this next year kind of brings. So.
Well, you talk about the upcoming year, and I think you made great use of your time while you were on injury reserve. And we already talked about you and the app as a whole possibly shifting over to the Android platform. But what's next outside of that? Do you have any future plans on how this app might evolve?
Me and my business partner, what we've talked about, what's next with this is we want to eventually make this a full-blown concierge service where we're able to provide people with more than just the outdoor recreational experiences. We want to give people full experiences where we're booking, guys trips for the weekend, and we've planned their hotels and the events, the bars, or where they're going to go eat at, bachelorette weekends. We want to make sure that we can serve people, and not just people, that we can just serve each individual as they need, just not in the sports world. We want to be able to tap into different genres and different groups of people. So that's kind of where we want to take it. It's a day-by-day process and taking the steps forward, and I think we'll be able to get there. Again, it's going to be a process, but I think we have something going. So.
Well, yeah, you mentioned it tends to be a process, and obviously the road to success is never easy, but I want to shift into your professional basketball career a little bit. I know you had various injuries throughout, so how hard was it coming back from those injuries and staying motivated to keep pushing and to keep grinding in your career, and how has that motivation led to your business endeavors?
You know what? It's crazy to think just how the two go hand in hand, because a lot of people will look at athletes and be like, oh, we just bounce the ball, and we don't really do anything. We just have fun all day. But it's a mental game. I mean, being an athlete's a mental game. Like you said before, I've dealt with all kind of injuries, and I went from being drafted to making millions of dollars and living that lifestyle, and then went from not playing for 2.5 years where I wasn't getting paid. And not only that, I mean, mentally what it toll I took. I mean, I had 3 surgeries, was told I would never, by multiple doctors, that I would never be able to play the game of basketball again. And man, just the mental part of it and the process I had to go through in order to keep fighting and learn how to persevere. But mostly, it just taught me a lot about myself, and kind of what I made, kind of as a person, what I'm made of. I think as individuals, we go through these hard times in our life for a reason, and it's up to you to kind of find what that reason is, whether it's, whether you're learning a lesson. And for me, it was more so just kind of finding my purpose and what I felt my purpose was. And, fighting back, I was able to finally get back and play basketball. And this year I was able to, do one of my goals by making an NBA roster again, and playing for the Washington Wizards, making their opening day roster.
Well, I really like what you said. Make it happen. It definitely isn't easy, but it's totally worth it in the end. And I think people really need to take your advice. You've overcome so much, so it's really fulfilling, I'm sure, to be where you are now. And Carrick, I want to take a 180 now to your professional basketball career. You may be slightly biased, having played for the Washington Wizards already, like you mentioned this season, but I want you to bring out your crystal ball a little bit. We all have one. Can you give our audience your NBA playoffs prediction for this season?
NBA playoff prediction this year. I mean, it's tough. It's very, very, very tough. I mean, obviously Golden State's going to be there from the West. I think that's a given.
Yeah, that's a consensus pick.
Yeah, I think that's a given. In the East, it's tough because Boston is really good right now, and I mean the Cavaliers obviously with LeBron James. I mean he doesn't go down.
Yeah, never count them out.
yeah, it doesn't go down without a fight. I think the East is kind of open. It's kind of open just because obviously with the Cleveland Cavaliers right now, obviously they have LeBron, but they deal with a lot of injuries. And if they can stay healthy, then they'll definitely get to the finals. But I think with a young team like the Celtics, even though it's their first year kind of all being together with the new team, Kyrie and some of the rookies and second-year guys they have, I think they have the pieces to actually make it a lot farther than what people think. So.
Well, Carrick, thanks for sharing a bit about your exciting adventure, Zingit, and for your insights on other NBA matters and overcoming adversities. I'm sure listeners will really appreciate those insights. All right, everyone, you're here with Mason Kern, host of the Sports Watchdog radio show on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX. We'll be right back at you after this quick word.
Want to whittle your waistline and start each day healthfully? Try delicious Barley Plus bars, which make eating nutritiously easy. Study shows that adding 1 serving of cereal and 1 bar to your daily diet can support weight loss. Barley Max is the secret weapon. An Australian supergrain and Barley Plus bars containing high-quality prebiotic dietary fibers that feed the good gut bacteria, keeping you healthier and happier. Find them at Amazon.com.
You ready to hoop it up?
This is Happenings on the Hardwood.
As always, at the end of the Sports Watchdog radio show here on Independent Talk 1100 KFNX, we're going to transition over to the hardwood. So the NBA is buzzing this week with speculation surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers and their attempts to pursue 1 to 2 max contract players this offseason. Combo guard Jordan Clarkson, undersized center Julius Randle, and high-flying forward Larry Nance Jr. have all been put on the trade block in order for the organization to clear cap space heading into the February trade deadline and the 2018 offseason. Now, the Lakers have been linked to Oklahoma City star small forward Paul George since his time on the Indiana Pacers, and they're apparently still the number 1 contender to land him in this upcoming free agency period. However, that could obviously be hindered by a deep playoff run by the Thunder, in which case George may want to stay with the newly formed trio of himself, Russell Westbrook, and Carmelo Anthony. But rumors have also speculated that LeBron James may possibly jump ship and head over to Los Angeles. However, that's really highly unlikely in my opinion, as LeBron is at a point in his career where every season has to be a win-now season. And let's face it, the Lakers are probably going to be no more than a 35-win, if even, team this season. And it doesn't really make sense for LeBron to come over and try to start over with the Lakers, because after their 4-1 loss in the NBA Finals last season to the Golden State Warriors, after they went out and got Kevin Durant to try and defeat the Cavaliers, which they did in good fashion, LeBron's been garnering assets in order to make a deep playoff run and defeat the bolstered Warriors team. He's got Derrick Rose, Isaiah Thomas, Dwayne Wade, and all the core pieces from before, and Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith, and all those other guys. So he's been building the Cleveland organization up in order to beat the Golden State Warriors. So it wouldn't really make sense, in my opinion, for him to jump ship, come over to Los Angeles. But for the Lakers, Jordan Clarkson has been a continuous bright spot in his years with the organization, which is pretty much why he re-upped in a 4-year, $50 million contract. But Jordan Clarkson still has $26 million guaranteed on his contract, so it would make sense for him to be the primary component for the Lakers to trade in the near future. They can't seem to get out of the Luol Deng contract, the 4-year, $72 million that they signed him to. They were able to get out of Timofey Mozgov's contract when they made a deal with the Nets, sending over D'Angelo Russell along with Mozgov for Brook Lopez and what would be the 27th pick in the 2017 NBA draft, which has turned into standout rookie Kyle Kuzma. And he's played a hell of a year this year. He's arguably a Rookie of the Year candidate. And at the 27th pick, he's been a real steal. But they can't seem to get out of Luol Deng's contract. They'd probably have to give up some good draft assets, which they don't really want to do. So it's likely that Luol Deng won't get bought out. He'll probably just spend the rest of his years with the Lakers, and then he may retire or go to another organization on a veteran's minimum. But at the same time, there's still plenty to be done with the Lakers this offseason. They're definitely going to try to pursue Paul George. That's their main target. Obviously going to go after LeBron as well, who isn't. I think he'll stay with the Cavaliers, though. And Kemba Walker has also been possibly linked via trade in February or this offseason to the Lakers as well. I don't think that'll happen. I think Dwight Howard and Kemba have a good thing going in Charlotte, so I think they'll stay there. But Lonzo Ball is finally starting to come into his own a little bit. Obviously not the greatest scorer, but I think that'll come with time. His shooting numbers are on the uptick. But he's definitely one of the premier passers already at this point. And there's still plenty more before the February trade deadline. So tune in each week to hear what I have to say for more updates on the Los Angeles Lakers, the NBA as a whole, and any other happenings on the hardwood.
Well, that's a wrap, everyone. Anybody wanting to connect with me, the Sports Watchdog, on Twitter can do so at @SportsWatchdog, and on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as well at The Sports Watchdog. So until next time, keep your eye on the ball.
The Sports Watchdog.
The Sports Watchdog, Kern.